Hello there, everybody. I'm Heidi from Be Well TV. Welcome back to Be Well TV Live. We're shooting here from Technish Creative, and today I want to welcome my friend Curt Read from Chill Cryosauna. Curt, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Chill Cryosauna. It's maybe not a very familiar term. Tell us first what chill is and then what cryosana is.
Well, Chill is part of the name for my business, Chill Cryosauna, but Chill Cryosauna is an all-natural health center with a number of different all-natural health modals in it. We originally started out with cryotherapy, which is a cold stimulus to the outer layers of your skin. It trips the receptors in your brain to kick in to high gear, responding to the cold stimulus, which thinks you're going into hypothermia. You're not, but it thinks you are, so your brain sends out endorphins, adrenaline, and oxygenated blood trying to warm you up. But those are all the good things you need to reduce inflammation, reduce pain drastically, and accelerate healing by at least 50%.
So what kind of people need to have that kind of treatment? Like how do you who uses it?
It's very effective on individuals with fibromyalgia, Lyme's disease, lupus, MS, Parkinson's, arthritis, any kind of pain, any kind of skin issue, memory disorders, mood disorders, PTSD, just about anything. Just about anything.
Wow. So when someone does it, how frequently do they need to have the treatment?
It all depends on how severe their issue is and how well their body responds. But it's not a one and done. I can't fix anything. So if you've got fibromyalgia or Parkinson's or whatever, you're always going to have it. You just probably won't have the symptoms of it.
So I have done it before, so I want you to explain what the process is like. So the view and color it up, Curt, because it's a very, very unique experience. What's it like?
It's well, we go through a number of safety protocols when an individual comes in to make sure it's as safe as possible. They're getting the best treatment as possible, and of course reduce liability, which affects my assurance rates. But we basically do an assessment when you come in of your health, and primarily one of those is your pain level. It's your pain level, it's not ours, so you're measuring it before and after. So we're looking for a 30-degree drop in your skin temperature, your outer skin only. The cold gets down to around 150 degrees below centigrade, so that's about 240 Fahrenheit. But it's a dry cold. It's not like putting your hand in ice water.
I used to live in Vegas, and people would say, "But it's a dry heat." No, that's hot, and this I know is cold.
But if you put your hand in ice water, that's 40 degrees, and you know how that feels,
right?
Okay, this is a lot colder than that, but it's dry, and it's just an air around you. So you're going to feel the cold in your calves, your legs is about the first place you feel it. And then the 3 minutes is what they've designed as the optimum time, and then the temperature, we're looking for a 30-degree drop, and that's where you get the maximum effects of that.
So I grew up in Michigan, as did you, and we both live here in Orlando now, where we're filming from. I left there because I don't like the cold.
And we get that.
And this sounds very shocking, even for 3 minutes. How do people cope with this?
First of all, it's only 3 minutes, and my techs are there constantly moving you around so you get an even blast of the cold throughout your whole body. And we're constantly talking with you, partly to get your mind off it, but partly to check your reaction too. And if we sense there's anything that's not right, we can shut it off and let you out, and then we go from there. But that happens very rarely.
Sure.
And I will have to say though, that somebody asked me what the side effects were, and my canned answer is you're out the cost of the treatment in 3 minutes of your time. But I ask my clients when they come back in what it's done for them. And unfortunately, they're very honest with me, and they tell me they get a boost of energy during the day, they get a better night's rest, and they get increased libido. And as I tell them, everything's got side effects. You're just going to have to learn how to deal with these because we don't have anything to counter that.
Yeah, well,
So,
and that sounds
good
better
luck.
than a pill. So
Good luck, they're on their own.
So how exactly did you get into this? What's your background?
Well, that's a little interesting too. I retired from the military, retired from the Sheriff's Department as a deputy in reserves, and retired as a special agent with the feds up in Seattle, primarily working on computer security and crime. And I was a volunteer in search and rescue, and I had my own private investigation business. But when I retired from all those, my ex was still up there and my kids were gone, and I said, I don't need to stay here anymore. So I was watching a TV show called Shark Tank.
Love that show.
And they had Jerry Harmon on there, who had a company called Sub-Zero Ice Cream. And I thought that was pretty unique that they made ice cream with nitrogen and you get a creamy ice cream instead of ice crystals. It's just really neat. And then they said they had one in Federal Way, and that's where I lived in Washington State. So in the morning, that was a Friday night, Saturday morning, I'm down at their store there, Sub-Zero Ice Cream, knocking on the door at 10 o'clock. And John Walsh was the guy's name, and he opened the door and said, yeah, can I help you? And I said, hey, I want to know more about this. So he brought me in and talked to me about it. So I was going to come down here and do Sub-Zero Ice Cream. And when I couldn't get the loan, because I didn't have 5 years in the food industry as a manager, I said, I don't need this. I'm retired from 3 jobs. I'm just doing this to stay occupied and help other people out. You know, I was going to hire a bunch of college students to do it during the day. So I went on my apology tour to apologize for taking everybody's time, but helping me get this together. And I went to the nitrogen guy, and he said, did you ever think about cryotherapy? And I thought about that for a minute, and I said, what is that? And he told me, and I'm kind of like, come on, there's nothing this good. So I went back and did my research, and the more I did, the more it ticked me off, because the only downside I could find was putting in my time and my money to get it going, because it works on anything. And so as I'd explained it, it's really tricking the mind into thinking you got a problem. So that's where it sends out all those good things to help fix what it is. So that's how I got into cryotherapy.
So you mentioned your military background. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I don't know if you got enough time for that.
Maybe not.
But normally you have 2 special areas of interest in the military, and I had something like 7. When I came in, I went into Signal Corps. You get to pick what you want to go into, except they gave me one. They didn't let me pick my 4. They gave me another one. I went into Communications, Signal Corps. And I went to Korea up on the DMZ because I volunteered to go to Vietnam, and they said, no, you're not. You're not going to Vietnam. And I said, well, where else can I go? And they said, we got a combat zone in Korea, so I went to Korea. So I was up on the DMZ there for a year. Great experience. Worked my butt off, but I learned a lot. Froze my butt off too. But anyway, then I came back from there and went to flight school. So I picked up another specialty of flight school. Then I went to air traffic control school, and I'd already been in crypto and classified equipment and stuff. And then I went to I think the next thing I got qualified in was the military police. And then I went in the different places that I was at. I became a test pilot at Lakehurst, New Jersey. And then I got off on active duty and went into the reserves. And that's where I got to be a commander of an infantry unit, which was very rare. It was a drill sergeant unit. Very rare that anything other than an infantry officer gets command of that unit. So I was an aviation officer getting command of an infantry unit. And then I went into military intelligence, and then I went into resource management. I was an inspector general for a while. And then most of the rest of the time I was a commander. So I had a little over 12 years as command time. And then got out, and at the same time I was doing the Sheriff's Department reserve time with them. So I got a retirement out of both of those, and then went into being a special agent with the feds after I worked for Boeing for a year in the black programs, working on the B-2 project and others. And then I got hired to the FAA and computing security. So
It's fascinating. I can only imagine the number of stories you have. So many things.
there's a few.
So I'm especially interested because you're very involved with the veteran-owned businesses. The organization is
Florida Veteran-Owned Business Association.
fantastic.
Florida Association of Business.
I know you're an
Veteran business.
you're an advocate for veteran business owners. What made you interested in that, aside from being a business owner yourself?
Number one, I guess you would call it giving back. Because of my experience and things that I've done, that I can help others share what I've learned, and it's either from positive experiences or negative ones, but to be able to help others to get to wherever they want to be.
Tell me a little bit about what that organization does, because I so appreciate it and think that it's a great, great mission.
Well, first of all, it's a lot of fun. Matter of fact, after I leave here today, I'll be going to a FABOB meet and greet. And it's just not veterans. It's any business owners can belong to this too and everything. It's that they have a common interest of, helping veterans. And so in my role is I can help other individuals through the pitfalls of business to be able to work different processes to get to wherever they want to get. There are all kinds of interest of what they want to do when they get out. Mm-hmm. And so it's trying to make connections with individuals that have been there before and done that. So like I have a process of it is a process of everything we do is a process. And I put together a format for that, such as the program name, the purpose of the program, what you're trying to accomplish, the background, the administration of how it works and who does what to who, and then it gets into resourcing, your time, money, equipment, funding, and then success indicators of how do you know if you're successful. But things like that I can share to those individuals so they don't have to fumble around and figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm curious to know I know a lot of veterans retire not really knowing what their next step is going to be. If someone was interested in starting their own company, what would you recommend as their first steps?
Get a hold of the FABOB of doing connections. Just about everything in life is connections. Who you know, who you can go out and tap, who you can ask for help. When you have a situation, it's not, I hate reinventing the wheel. So when we come up with an idea of doing something, the first thing I say is, anybody ever done this before? And if they have, let's reach out to them and ask them what they did or how they got to where they're at.
Sure.
Because they're probably willing to share things that didn't work. And so you don't waste your time and energy of doing something that's not going to work. Now, when I do my programs and I give it to my staff, the first thing I tell them is, this is the start of improvement. Because even though I think I did the greatest job, and I may have, but things are constantly changing.
Sure.
So you want to keep that refreshed all the time, and maybe a different set of eyes will look at it, even though I've staffed that with everybody beforehand before we go final on it.
So another thing that interests me is you're really trying to do some outreach with the veteran community with Chill Cryosauna because of the benefits that the cryotherapy can offer to veterans. How is that unique to them, or why do you identify that?
Yeah, number one, it's an education thing with anybody, because a lot of people don't know what cryotherapy or any of our other services will do that are all natural. So we specialize in giving people their lives back without a high cost and without a lot of time and pain and anything that's associated with that. Because as we get older, we start developing health issues. And we have a number of options. We can either live with it, maybe we can take medication for it, and if that medication doesn't work, they probably got another one or the side effects. We can possibly take vitamins or supplements. We can possibly take or get surgery if it's that serious.
Right.
Or we can do cryotherapy or our other all-natural services. And I'm here to tell you the results of our clients that we've had is just, we've got some film of individuals coming in, couldn't hardly walk, and they go through the first treatment and they're walking out.
That's amazing.
You're going to see results right after the first treatment.
So do you find that veterans tend to be resistant to the concept? Because, I mean, I have this vision of these big tough guys that don't believe in the hocus pocus of anything natural, and do you experience
it's not
that?
just veterans. I think that's pretty much across the board, but it is a little interesting you bring up about the veterans, because I run into them all the time that are complaining about the pain, taking medications and all that stuff. And the first thing, and I'll offer them and say, if you knew something was available like this, would that be of something of interest to you? And they would indicate they are, and then they ask if the VA will pay for it. And I said, no, we don't have a program like that yet. But and they said, well, I'm not doing it then. And I said, well, how severe is your pain? You know, you complain about taking medications, but it's like they like the sympathy card or something, I don't know. But then the other thing is, they said, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to lose my VA benefits, my disability pay. And I tell them, I can't fix anything. If you've got fibromyalgia or that Parkinson's or whatever it is, you're still going to have it.
Yeah, it's not going to go away.
You just don't have the symptoms of it. So, and the prices are so reasonable, it's ridiculous. But anyway, everybody has choices.
Right, right. Well, hopefully your outreach is successful and you can get to more of that community, because I know that there are a lot of things that you can help with.
Now, mentioning that, though, we do have different programs, and one of them is a fundraising program where if there's different organizations, high schools or something like that are trying to raise money for bus trips or uniforms or whatever it is, we have a program for that. We also have a charity program, and for example, at the veterans events and others, I'll go and do have our localized unit there, which I can just do a localized unit, or we use it for body shaping and toning. But the women love to get facials with it because it rejuvenates the skin, gives it more elasticity, more youthful appearance, anti-aging. It'll reduce puffiness, reduce wrinkling, and increase collagen. And if there's any blemishes, I can pretty much work those out too. But we'll do that at different events for donations to the cause.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we'll go and do that, and if they put $10, $15, $20 into the kitty, then that goes to the organization. So
that's great. So how does somebody find out more about Chill Cryosauna? I know that you have a web presence, you have an online presence. Let's address that first.
Right. We have, if you go to www.chillcryosauna.com, that'll bring us up. We're on Facebook, and our telephone number is 407-402-0992.
I know, you don't have to dial much.
03. So. So you might want to check that.
And also, you are located here in Orlando,
Yes.
and you're going to be at the Central Florida Home and Garden Expo and Be Well TV, or the Be Well at Home Expo with us. They'll be able to see that, and you've got a couple of different things going on. So For those of you that haven't heard about it, that Expo is at the Orange County Convention Center, August 28th and 29th. Are you going to do any little samples or any charities there?
Yeah, we'll have a drawing there where you can come by and fill out to get put in for the drawings. And we'll do a number of different services that we have for the drawing. So there's going to be probably eight winners at that event.
Very nice. So you will definitely want to stop by Curts Booth. You can just look for the Chill Cryosauna logo. He'll have all kinds of banners and signage and everything, and we'll make sure that you see on bewelltv.online what the exhibitor list is. Once we have it all finalized, make sure you check that out so you know exactly where to find him. Curt.
And our location is on John Young, just south of Sand Lake. It's the first traffic light, and we're just off on the right next to the BMW motorcycle shop.
Fantastic.
So.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
There's so much more to learn. I know that people definitely need to check out the website because there's so much, and what an experience.
And if you want to know anything about crime stories, let me know. So I've worked most of them in the Northwest.
Oh my gosh, I bet show up at a FAVOB meet and greet, and I'm sure you'll open up with the good stories. Thanks so much for being here, Curt.
Thank you.
Be well. Those of you at home, be well.